push again, and they're just going to push. I feel like they're going to try and make as much as they can.
That is true. That is one argument against the Dom build, is that you... I mean, I guess...
You can't Rosh as early.
I guess you probably still can Rosh with that. Both of the
Yeah,
probably let you Rosh, but the Ags Rosh is like 13, 14 minutes.
Yes.
If you have a good game, you could solo it.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
Well, look, I don't want to put words in your mouths, but you're all going for Liquid here. You think it's going to be that 2-0? No one's thinking otherwise? Yeah, I didn't think so. My analysts, they're going for Liquid here, but let's hear from BB Team's coach. Maybe they can convince you guys at home on what exactly they were trying to draft for themselves.
Thank you very much. Now, yes, indeed, I'm here with Bulk. And firstly, I just want to know, how confident are you with this draft in game number 2?
Насколько ты сейчас уверен в вашем драфте?
Уверен, конечно же. Взяли этих героев.
They're pretty confident, otherwise they won't pick this.
That makes a lot of sense. What did you think about the Medusa in last game? What do you think about that hero?
Играли, мы не ожидали, что они... В целом получился удачный драфт. Лейнило вперед.
So he says it was interesting to play against that. It is a tanky, and that they did not expect to play against it, but they already played with it before, so it was interesting.
All right, and how do you feel like you answered the early Mirana, which Liquid showed in this draft?
Что он может взять Мирану, поэтому были готовы к этому.
They were ready for Mirana.
All right, answered. Perfect. All right, Bulk, thank you very much. Good luck in your game. And back to the casters' first game. Who are going to have Cap and SVG?
A lot of confidence. I don't believe it. They're currently 0-5 in their last bit of games. I feel like you're lacking in confidence at this point, surely, right?
You're starting to question some things. I think that's fair enough. This is also, you know, potentially your last game before you're thrust into that lower bracket, and then you're in a whole different world of stress in a different situation. You're going to be 0-6 at that point. You're kind of just, you know, what are we even doing in terms of strategies or heroes? This is a big game for BB Team. For Liquid, perhaps for day of the week. Another series versus BB that they feel very confident in. They feel like they have the tempo advantage. Another lineup that is going to push you very hard between that 20 to 30 minute mark.
And it's going to outscale you, right?
Yeah, I mean, think so.
They went Red Dragon, Dragon Knight. They've got a Beastmaster. They've got some supports that scale up. The Mirana is pretty scary going into the late game with some of the talents you rock. And it looks like we're going to have a first blood on our hands. Saika is going to try and defend himself. The Unstable Concoction on 2. Manages to maneuver around the brambles, so he doesn't actually die. No first blood just yet.
Well, technically a better start than last game. True. This is another game where, yeah, you kind of have to expect BB Team to want to do well on the lanes, at least build a lead, because I agree. Liquid's push, very scary with Trine to back it up. The late game, incredibly scary with Mirana Beast providing, you know, Solar Flare plus Inner Beast with a Dragon Knight to frontline, Trine to sustain everything, and a Willow to give you some extra teamfight buff. I just don't think you're not winning ultra late here if you're BB Team. I just do not see it in the cards, and if you start to get pushed down, your ability to combat that push is okay. Depends on where the Batrider and the Kunkka's farm is to take that team fight head on. Ideally, your way to win this game is to get a very fat Alchemist and push yourself. Like, you want to go into Liquid here with a farmed Alch, with a farmed Chen, who just gives you overwhelming team fight sustain, and Liquid don't have the damage to contest you. So you really need to play a strong first 15, 20 minutes here to get Nightfall online and have a very good Alch game.
Now, that being said, they do have the heroes for that, right? They showed it in game 1 that they could win the laning phase. And in this game 2, they've got, I mean, first of all, Alchemist, you know, traditionally thought of as kind of a slower hero, but this hero is hell to lane against. Now that you don't have this Greevil's Greed being leveled up, people actually maxing out Concoction. It is actually very tough to play against this hero, and you've got a mid-Nature's Prophet, probably one of the fastest mids in this tournament, and they don't even need him to be able to find the first blood, as Saika is going to take a lot of damage on his way out, but he does manage to get the extra gold. The axes are not going to be enough to bring him down, and he'll send a little return present to 33 for that damage.
Big gold boost. Saika here, exactly what he's looking for in this laning phase, and extra experience for the Chen. Very valuable in this game. You want Toronto Tokyo getting into that 4 to 6 territory as fast as possible so he can start to get his own farm up, build into the early sustain mech, soul, or whatever he wants, and get that push going. The early farm for both these BB Team supports is going to be pretty important here. I think Liquid doesn't need it as much. They just kind of want to get everybody online a little bit. So they're all lined up with this Beastmaster Ags, you know, throw some tree and sustain in there. But the levels, I think the early items for this support duo isn't as vital. The big question mark for me in this game, and the player hero I'm looking to determine a lot of what we've talked about, has got to be this GPK Furion. Like, this is a hero that is very volatile. It's not been as successful in this tournament as I think it's been in pubs recently, for sure. But this is an explosive hero. You cannot doubt how well this hero can take the early game over if he gets a fast 6 and just starts spamming ults into the side lanes. That, to me, is his strength. So if you're BB team, you need to get this Furion online.
Is this going to be enough? Shadow Realm plus Axes? It is enough. Okay. Boxy will get that last hit. So the laning phase goes 1-1.
Just not able to recover the extra regen on this Alchemist from the earlier trades. Huge wave going into this Chen. So Toronto Tokyo going to get some extra farm, but Psycha not too happy about where he is on the CS chart. Half the CS of this Beastmaster. 33 just dominating the early laning mechanics here, despite that first blood gold injection.
That being said, BB team is doing very well in their off lane. This Bat Rider Kunkka lane, that sounds really annoying to play against, because Kunkka off lane is all the rage right now. There are multiple times we were watching the group stage and all 3 streams had an off lane Kunkka in them, all at the same time. This is a hero that's being played a lot. I played it quite a bit leading up to this tournament. It feels great.
That must mean it's terrible.
No. I was winning with it. That's how you know. I was able to overcome it. Exactly. I have to say, I feel like this hero feels quite good despite the Aghanims change. The Aghanims is clearly worse than... Yeah, that Storm was just straight up broken, but it still feels good.
I'm not convinced of this new Ags, honestly. I see it being built a lot, but I feel like more often than not in the team fight, I see the double ship come out and then it hits like nobody. You're like, well, sure, there's 4,000 gold down the drain, and you fire some cool cannons, and I mean, you look cool, but that's about it. I'm not convinced by this new Ags. That's the one component of this hero I'm still looking to see the impact from.
And that's the funny part, is like, now it's not the Ags that's broken. It's, you don't even need an item for the broken component of this hero, because it's the built-in rum passive that he has that I think is the broken part of this hero. And I agree. I'm not even sure if you necessarily need the Ags. I think he's a great aura buyer, because you just can't kill this guy before he can get off some of his items. Yeah. You know, that rum delay is just, it's painful.
He's also honestly decent catch versus a lot of the carry pool. He lanes pretty well versus a lot of these ranged carries. He's one
Wind Ranger, Mirana.
Yeah. And then this X is really annoying for the mobile ranged carries, the Mirana, Wind Ranger, Lina type heroes. So unsurprised to see him back in the meta a bit. We'll see how he paces verse 33, who once again is just, he is off to a blistering start on this Beastmaster. And the big concern if you're a BB team fan here is this Furion down at the bottom of the charts. GPK is just getting out-CS'd by this Dragon Knight on Nisha. He does not care about the tree and harass, and it is pushing the Furion levels down, which you want that early 6 to harass the side lane. So Liquid should be very happy with this start here. They are getting what they want out of this laning phase right now, which is a strong Beastmaster who's going to get a fast Ags, a Dragon Knight who's laning perfectly well versus Furion, and is going to be in a position where he gets 6 first, which means if that Furion leaves, you're pressuring his tower and ultra free farming. If the Furion doesn't leave, he's stuck in a lane that's not going well for him. You're just getting massively out-farmed.
I do feel like you're guaranteed to leave, just because I think you're guaranteed to kill Mickey. You know? Like, once you hit level 6, X, Torrent, Nature's Wrath, plus a TP, I feel like there's no way a safe lane Mirana lives through that.
Don't get the leap off yet. Gone. I think you're going to have to look for these side lanes. Nature's Wrath is up. BK's lane phase, not been great, but he has the ult online. Really got to start cranking this out and getting some value. This is not a spell you want sitting off cooldown, just idle in the early
double mana burn. There goes Boxy's whole pool there. Still has a Lotus, still has some wand charges, so we can still play with the Insania coming through the gate. Put the pressure on Psycha. Bold play to make, though, with the Nature's Prophet ready to go with his ultimate and save, making a counter TP rotation here. He is just sticking on top of 33. He's not backing away. He knows he can't make a run for it. Throws some axes, turns around, throws a bit of damage, but 33 is still going to get burned out. And BB team now look for a second one. A big burst of damage. That unstable concoction comes through. Takes the Treant down to half. It's a simple play for BB team to be able to clean up some kills off of that bit of aggression from Liquid.
Extra 250 damage coming through off the Furion ult. Yeah, helps him convert on that. I mean, this is the power of the ult in the early game. Very hard to skirmish into this hero. Just have to make your moments work here. GPK going to try and recover in this game. See how many of these side lane opportunities you can find. as Beastmaster goes down. Was the most farmed hero on the map as well, and this gets Psycha to his 6, so bit of breathing room for this Alchemist. He's going to try and get a fast Radiance.
Yeah, he could start playing off lane if he wants and in some neutrals.
I mean, if I'm Liquid, though, I'm rotating straight back up here. Like, I'm not giving this Alc any breathing room. You have push galore. In fact, they're going to take the Dragon Knight up here.
Nisha spots him. Doesn't manage to get the initiation right away, but now 33. He's going to close that gap. They've got the Primal Roar combined with the Dragon Tail. So many stuns. BB team is still going to fight this one, though. The boat's coming in. Miro, he goes for Nisha. A hard hero to be able to kill. And it looks like the damage is being split up here from BB team. They're not sure who they're targeting right now. And Miro right now is trying to protect. He's not going to be able to do anything. Dragon Tail into an arrow stun. Mickey comes in with the extra help. And Save is trying to get this kiting back. 33. He'll get it. Well played by Save, being able to back him off. And now pushes Nisha back as well. Looks like he'll even survive through this engagement. So he comes out the shining star BB team, but the rest of the engagement quite dirty.
And I'll push Save to his 6. I mean, nice plays on the back end of this fight from the bat. Salvages something out of what is otherwise just a wasted team fight for BB team. Once again, Liquid out-rotating them in this early game.
Mickey out of leap charges, so he is done. X-Torrent, and with Toronto Tokyo coming in,
that's a really
certainly had the damage.
Extra experience for this Chen, getting some momentum back after a botched team fight top. You have to be ready for these Liquid rotations, particularly through the gate. Psycha, he just wants some CS here, man.
Yeah.
He does not want to be in these fights.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Throws the concoction, says, leave me alone. Let me clean up this creep wave, and then you can have it. I'm going to back off to the jungle.
I like how Liquid played this early game. They really prioritized making the first move and forcing this Furion to react to them, bringing him into disadvantageous, outnumbered positions. It's one of the ways you can abuse this hero, not let him dictate.
Try to go for Nisha. That early level 6, that Save got off of that team fight is put to use immediately. One upside you could definitely say about this when it comes to the early game for BB team, they have not let this Dragon Knight abuse that mid tower too much.
And they played a much stronger early game between these two games than they have versus Liquid in a lot of these series over the year.
Yep.
And I mean, you got to give Save credit here. If there's one thing functioning for a BB team right now in this series, it is him.
Yep.
He has dictated both of these early games to a large degree. And I will say, I honestly think Batrider might be his most impactful hero of this kind of event. Like,
I agree. Whenever he's playing Batrider, him and Miro just tear up the laning phase.
And this is a hero that can scale pretty hard. Way better than the Lion.
In EWC, right, it was the Batrider Brewmaster that they were running all the time that looked really good. GPK is going to be run down underneath this tower. TP rotations are coming in, though. Liquid surely are going to lose somebody off of this one, or maybe they're not. Boxy with his level 6 and with the Haste Rune quickly picks up the Will-O-Wisp and starts using the Bedlam to bring down Save. They get that. What a torrent into a boat on 3. Miro, though, caught in the overgrowth, is not able to immediately get the damage. Insania will find his TP canceled. They'll collect the lives of both supports for this, right?
He shot.
Insania, there's nowhere you can go.
Collects. I mean, it's another fight that isn't that bad for BB team, but it's really bad for GPK.
Yeah.
If there's one thing Liquid are happy about, it's this Furion has basically had no impact in this early game, which to me is where this hero is supposed to be the scariest. It's the early Wraths of Nature, the early rotations, him getting a net worth advantage off being able to be in multiple lanes at once. I mean, he's bottom of the charts. The early Wraths didn't work out for him. He's died first in those 2 big team fights. Mickey is not having much of a better time, but I feel like that was not as an emphasized component here for Liquid strategy, right?
Yeah. Now, this Mirana hero is, I feel like, pretty chill. You fall behind the lanes, you're going to be able to farm up neutrals between the arrows and the Starstorm and the Arcane Boots build. You just kind of like keep trucking.
There's one big component between this game and last game, though. It is the BB team supports are going to be able to push waves a bit better. Okay. Like, Bat Chen are going to be able to farm a lot more, scale a lot more, bring a lot more to the table. We're already seeing them build a little bit of an advantage here. This is a very valuable getting for Liquid, actually. Getting the Chen and all of his creeps here. A lot of gold, a lot of momentum shut down.
But Save. He gets the lasso, pulls him into Miro with the X-Torrent combination. He'll bring Nisha low, but a terrorized Save. Is that going to be enough? Doesn't hit the Alchemist. And with GPK behind him, they'll deliver the damage to get not one core, but maybe 2. Unstable Concoction, it goes off. 33 is already a pretty distant target to go for here. They're going to have to go in a bit deep. They do manage to get the Torrent on 2 of them, stopping the TP wave from Bo3. What a play from Miro.
He's been destroying this early game. I mean, this off lane for BB team has just salvaged so many of these fights. It's ridiculous. 2-0 and 7 start for the Kunkka. Blade Mail already up. Save is cruising to his Blink Dagger. And they are firing on all cylinders. 4-1 and 6 start for this Bat Rider.
And they get a little incursion into the triangle, knowing that Liquid is one of the teams that love stacking so much. They check for that, find a little double hard cam stack, though caught by an Insania Treant Protector. Hits him with the overgrowth. It's not good enough to get the kill on save. He still tries, but Nature's Grasp not going to do any damage here. And that bit of aggression, they don't lose anybody. It gives the Alchemist space. He completes his Radiance at 13 minutes.
Ooh, Nisha barely missing that kill as well. That got them the top tower. Talking about space. That's a tier 1. Shen helps push it in. These supports for BB team. They did not lose confidence after this game 1. Went back to something that's a bit more sturdy for them. They have, as Book said, all the confidence in the world in these picks. It's showing right now in this early game. Yeah, I thought this was going to end up a lot worse for them based on how those early rotations and fights were going, but this is not a bad position at all. And again, the biggest factor is if you can push into Liquid, their lineup's a lot weaker. And right now, Liquid, they're the ones getting pushed into. They're losing some tier 1s, potentially losing control of this ancient area. An aggressive smoke play. Don't have to blink for the bat, but they would love to find 33 on these ancient camps.
And this offlane Beastmaster is going to be a very different beast.
14-minute
Wisdom Game 2, trying to play for the Wisdom Rune steal. Bo3 protects it. And maybe protects his own life in the process. Shadow Realming away. The stun on Miro. He doesn't want to get too aggressive, so they will find no opportunity here to take away.
I think this Liquid smoke is still good, though. Like, you looking at 33 right now. He's not happy with the situation. He's watching both of his ancient spawns on those 14 minutes get stolen here. Yeah. The Alk gets a lot of room to play with. The counter exchange here for Liquid is you're farming up this Mirana, but like, you know, I mean, it's a Mirana, right? There's only so much you can farm with this hero in the early game. You just don't have these early tier 1s to play around. And it's showing here for Liquid. GPK is recovering very fast. And it's not easy to make moves into this Blade Mail Kunkka. As you said, he's very tanky. And Liquid kind of lacked the early game damage a little bit. That's the one weakness of this lineup.
Yeah, and that damage isn't going to be coming from the Beastmaster with his build. He's going pipe. What do you make of that?
I think 33 just doesn't feel like he's going to be able to have the farm for an Ags and then translate it into just an early Roche based on how much space they've lost. Like, you're looking at deep wards coming out in this top lane for BB team right now. The Kunkka is going to be able to match the Beast in terms of team fight. It's not an easy 5-on-5 for them anymore to just, okay, we got Ags, let's go Roche, and we're confident we can take that.
Sure. But the pipe is also, it's not going to help you scale up either, right? No. Like, if you build this pipe, surely you've got to get something out of it right now.
It's also just not, like, it's a good pipe game. You're counteracting Radiance damage, but it's also not the most amazing pipe game.
Sure.
It's solid here for sure, but like you said, you kind of want to fight with it right now. This is where it's a big problem for BB team. Where are you going to get that fight? The lanes are an issue right now for Liquid, and this is the advantage of like Chen Bat versus IO line, right? The Furion as well. He's going to just be pushing in all the 3 waves with ults, with treants. These supports can easily shove in a wave and then go with the jungle. You're looking at the map right now, very constricted for Liquid, and deep wards on the lanes are scouting everything here for BB.
A lot of items are coming together. They have the pipe complete. They have the Gleipnir done for the Mirana. All that's left is Nisha's BKB, but they may not need it. Found an opening on Miro. He got off his Blade Mail first, though. So instead, they turn to save. But look at Saika coming in from the side. Unstable Concoction on it, too, with its Radiance. He is burning out the Beastmaster. Couldn't stop him before the Primal Roar. And now gets hit by the Overgrowth. But that's okay. They don't have the damage to threaten this Alchemist, especially with Mickey choosing a different target. He finished up the Kunkka. He got the Bat Rider. He comes in and gets a nice double kill. But BB team, they are an equalizing force, and ultimately that net worth doesn't go anywhere. Stays at a 6K lead for BB team.
Yeah, honestly, Mickey, he got the most out of that. And even actually an advantageous gold exchange for Liquid when all said and done.
Oh, yeah, just a bit.
So they lose 2 cores, but they recover a bit of this game for the Mirana. I mean, now suddenly Mickey, he's top 2 net worth. He got a lot off of that fight, and this damage is going to hurt. It takes a lot to commit onto this Kunkka, but once he's down, that team fight's kind of open for the Mirana. there's not a lot that is going to stand there and fight him back in this game unless your Furion and Alk are just way ahead of him on the net worth. Even then, I think Mika is the ultimate beast in this game. Like, Solar Flare Mirana with all the buffs and sustain behind him in this game is going to be scary to fight into the longer and longer this game goes. So I like this objective acceleration here for BB Team. This is what you want your Alk Chen game to look like. Skelly boys are going to,
yeah, look at the rallied, the skeleton army going to work with the help of the acid spray. Got a decent amount of physical damage to get this done.
I think there's an argument you give it to GPK here. I don't think Nightfall ever will, but
Roshan has fallen to
and sure enough, Saika, aka Nightfall, does take the Aegis for.
I mean, I think this is fine too. It's just, you know, like in theory, is Alk the first one in the fight or dying in all these exchanges? I think on paper he shouldn't.
Yeah, with especially with the boat buff, combining Chemical Rage's natural regen with the boat buff, just making you tanky enough that you don't die immediately. That's a pretty potent combination. Survivability. Boxy has his TP canceled by a Gleipnir. He'll try and make it as hard as possible for BB Team, but he will eventually die.
Yeah, it feels like the 3, 4, and 5 for BB Team here have just done so much on the map. Continuing to build just team fight utility for all 3 of these heroes. Gonna try and kite out Liquid, extra 4 stabs. Vlad's are already done for the Chen. Solar Crest now done for the Chen. Toronto Tokyo found a lot of farm. You have an Aegis on this Alk to play with. So the upside of putting it on this Alk is you can, again, push into Liquid. Which anytime I think you get to that point with this BB Team lineup, you're happy. Liquid are not like going to get pushed in this game, and what a find from GPK. Just saw him farm in the bottom lane, catches him again.
Yep, they just sweep down. There's no way you could TP out faster than GPK can pull the trigger on that Gleipnir. They search for more. Miro's looking for the Treant Protector, who does already have his shard, so not the easiest pickoff. Liquid, they get their BKB done for Nisha's Dragonite, and they are going to be scaling up. But look at this.
This is nasty, right? I was about to say,
this
is a 20-minute early high ground from BB Team. Like, do you just go here with this Alk Aegis and say, what are you going to do about it, Liquid? Your out spam is pretty bad. We have the sustain with the Chen. We beat you to it. This is not where Treant excels.
Who is this BB Team? We're looking more like Gaimin Gladiators right now.
Saves hands off the keyboard. It's like, I'm sitting here till somebody shows, and then I am dragging you straight into hell.
Now, they are not showing inside of the base except for 33. 33 is a great target to be able to start on Lasso, but Liquid's coming in from behind. Can they get here in time to be able to save 33? They do jump onto the Chen with the Terrorize coming out, hitting GPK as well. They'll take 2 for 1 off of this one, and Mickey is going to work with some of his damage, but now he's being targeted. He gets rolled back into some Nature's Grass, and it's not going to be enough. They manage to bring him down. Aurora goes out onto the Bat Rider now. With Miro being low, Nisha is trying to hunt him down, not in dragon form though, and Saika is still the king of this team fight. The Alchemist with the Radiance and the extra life is not going to be easy to bring down Nisha, realizing that he is in no man's land with so many heroes of BB Team sitting between him and his base, trying to TP away. The X stops him, the Unstable Concoction stops him, and he goes down. BB Team will resume their high ground push at 20 minutes with an Aegis still intact for Saika, and now they've got Insania potentially. Nope, slips into the trees. He's okay, but the lane of Barracks will not be.
Is this the slowest team at the tournament, Austin?
It doesn't look like it.
Are we watching the same squad that apparently is just AFK farms until they have to BKB TP out? Because that is not how they are playing this game right now. Aggressive buyback from the Furion, taking advantage of that instant teleport, giving BB Team some extra numbers. That was a very solid flank from Liquid. Gave him hope in that exchange, but ultimately just not enough damage to crunch through all of the lives, all of the sustain here. And maybe, honestly, MVP of that fight, sure, you'll give it to Miro Kunkka kiting them out. You'll give it to the Alchemist, but it is the Skelly boys here. Toronto Tokyo had, I think, 6 or 7 skeletons giving rally buff to everybody in that exchange. He's got triple Dark Troll Summoner here. Nobody's killing these things. It's like a plus Sacred Relic on everybody. This Alk is hitting with double damage. Somebody deal with the summons here.
The buffs.
They're coming for you. They are pushing. That is the face of your demise.
Oh boy. BB Team, what a turn.
Yeah, they are feeling this game right now, and they know how to play it. Big smoke from Liquid, trying to find a flank angle here. They had the right idea in that fight. Take the Chen out first, shut down the Kunkka if you can burst him. They really want to see the supports
Oh, they
What a jump.
cannot go through this. Kokamiro is waving at him. He knows this initiation is coming. Will it still work for him, though? Oh, an unstable concoction locks onto the two of them with the torrent boat coming in. Oh, Liquid, this is not looking good. Nisha does manage to get off his BKB, so while 33 dies, Nisha's still able to fight this out, but he's not doing much damage. The Marana is, though, but the Marana doesn't have much HP that he couldn't finish off GPK. Yeah, maybe you can, Boxy, but this fight's done. This game might be done as they call it. 22 minutes. BB team, who are these guys? Go 0-5. Criticized for years when it comes to their pace of the game and how slow they play. And all of a sudden, they just wake up in the middle of this series against Liquid and just look like